Hello, my name's Keith Philbrook, and I'm just going to speak a little bit about the history of Care Outreach. Care Outreach started some 18 years ago as a result of Bill Close, who happens to be my son-in-law, who married my daughter Melissa, and they were itinerant evangelistic ministries travelling from right down in South Australia to the tip of Queensland through Western Australia and Western Queensland, and this particular year there was a cancellation of a missions trip up into North Queensland, and Bill was sort of concerned about what was he going to do in this time. It was about the same time that there was bad drought out in Western Queensland, and it was a time when people from the cities were donating all their grass clippings, and wherever they could get a bit of bulk feed was being carted out into these particular areas to try and keep the cattle alive. And Bill just sort of took this on board and said, I wonder if there's any people out there in need. So he just came out. He had a little 6x4 trailer hooked on behind his car, and he came out and he started to ask around in the towns, and found out that, oh, really, no, there's nobody around here that's got any needs. We're all doing fine. But he wasn't happy with that answer, and because he had a feeling inside himself that, hey, there are people out there. So he just drove off, and just as he driving past the first property on the way out, he said, oh, it looks a bit run down. We'll go and have a look, see what's happening there. So I drove in there and came across this family that were pretty distraught, and they were really crying. And what really happened was the husband, because of the pressure of the drought and the feeling of a failure that he was, felt that he would be better off not being on this earth, so there was a suicide, and the family were rather distraught. So Bill decided, and Melissa with their family decided that they needed to do something about this. So they drove back into town, and they got them some Christmas cheer, and they drove out and just blessed the family with some Christmas cheer, and then ministered to the family, drove off, and the next property they said, oh, just drop in here. And unfortunately, a similar situation, except it was the 18-year-old son the family who had really desired him to make something in life, sent him down to the city to be a trade, but could not fit into the city life, came home. As a result, there was a little bit of a disagreement, and the son just finished his life. And so as Bill just drove away from this place, he said, God, just allow me to get there before this happens, not after the event. So that was the birth of Care Outreach as such, in a ministry into the West, as a result of really suicides and as a result of the drought. So in that time, Care Outreach has grown. Its main focus initially was on Christmas for the Bush, which was named, and it was going into people who had been referred by others who were doing it pretty tough, and that just to take some Christmas cheer to them, because they were doing it pretty hard. And it was just amazing as Bill went into many of the homes. Many places had nothing more than half a bottle of milk sitting in their fridge. The pantries were almost bare. They didn't know where they were going to have their next meal coming from. They didn't know whether they would be able to have anything for Christmas at all. But here, this is where the testimonies and the letters that came back to Care Outreach about just the difference it made, and they many times they said to their kids, look, we can't have Christmas this year. And here would Care Outreach would turn up with a Christmas hamper, which was just the basic sort of enough for a Christmas dinner for them, and plus gifts for the children and the adults. And this many times, and we experienced that ourselves as we visited people and left them with their Christmas goodies, that they see the tears in their eyes. And many times I would just say, look, we just told the kids last week that I don't think we can have Christmas this year, and here we are, and just the joy that was in their face, and I dare say we look back, we could wonder how many of those people, because we've turned up, have changed their mind about their value and whether they would consider taking their life. We do not know those things. I'm not exactly aware of any suicides that have taken place in the area since we've been visiting them. Another great benefit of our Christmas gifting was the fact that through that time people never had the time to even stop for Christmas, because they were on water runs or they were knocking down mulga. They couldn't afford the time, and here we would turn up with a hamper. They didn't have to worry about their Christmas lunch. It was there for them just to have. Modest as it was something that they could celebrate Christmas with, and the appreciation that was just fed back to us about that help. Care Outreach grew from just from one or two little areas, probably basically around Dalby and Miles area, to now that we're covering the area from probably just north of Mergen through to Windora to the border. South from Mergen down to the border, and through to the Northern Territory border. And then as well there is a team working out of Condobolin in New South Wales. We also got a team working in South Australia. We got a team working out of Townsville, around the Hughenden area there as well. We've got about 8 bases that are in the southern Queensland area here, and the area that we are overseeing at the moment is Bollin and Cunnamulla, and we've got to know the people there. The way that we have approached it is that we desire to go in there and build that friendship for the start with the people. Then we begin to build relationships with them, and we would just love to see them come to the Lord, but that's not what we're pushing. We're not pushing a gospel to them. We're desiring to be a gospel by being available, to be a listening ear. And so many of them had said, we've never shared that with anybody. And they appreciate somebody from coming outside the area, that they can talk over issues. And we're not counsellors, but we've learnt that be able to allow people to talk. Many times their answers come as they talk to us, as they find out what's been inside of them, and the answers come to them through that. Care Outreach is structured with Bill and Melissa as the founders, and they're overseen by a board of directors, and who meet as required, and then we have members that participate and can come along to the annual meeting and talk their vision. We have a weekly prayer meeting that every Wednesday night, and there's email of the prayer request goes out to those that desire to be on that prayer list and prayer chain, and if there's a need rises within the week, then a prayer chain request will go out to all these ones, which has happened from time to time. So it's operated from a warehouse office area based at Kunda Park on the Sunshine Coast. We're at the moment, Melissa is the office manager, supported by Cheryl, who is the warehouse overseer, and Bill as the he's down there helping wherever he can, and then there's the volunteers come in, and We've got a volunteer base that come in and do sewing and packing and repairing and lots of different things that all help to make the care outreach run so much smoother. And I'd like to just now that to speak to you about if any of these areas that I've been speaking about just touches your heart in any way and you would like to be involved. And there's many ways that we can be involved, and that's through donating goods or donating time, donating finances, and just be a prayer support. There's so many different areas that help to make the running of Care Outreach function as God would desire it to function. But if you desire to contact Care Outreach in any way, then there's a post office box, which is Post Office Box 467, Palmwoods, 4555, Queensland now. And there is a website which the information will be put on this for you to see. And then you can contact and find out in the area that you may be able to want to be involved. There's a phone number of 07544544966, which will find the office in normal office hours, and Melissa would love to be able to talk to you, encourage you further, and answer any questions that you may have. Anyway, thank you so much for just listening to me as I just share a real passion that's on my life. As I just see the people of the West just being touched and blessed. These country people are so important. The slogan that has been so well promoted, that every family needs a farmer, and it is so true in this day and age. Farmers are finding it harder and harder, and they need all the support they can get. And that cannot always be done in financial or other ways, but just to moral support and spiritual support where the opportunity rises. So thank you very much for listening to me.